So as mentioned, my name is Billy Fleury. I'm the Senior Lecturer at Manchester Metropolitan University. I'm the Programme Leader for Sports Business Management. My contact details on the screen now. If any students have specific questions, queries about the courses, I'm more than happy to be answering any queries through email. So my contact details are there. We also have sports marketing management undergraduate. Okay, so my colleague Mike Griffiths is the program leader for sports marketing management. Their contact details are there on the screen as well. They're again more than happy to be answering any questions, any queries that students may have for prospective students. And we also have a MSc, Masters in Sports Business Management and Policy. My colleague Abdullah Farouk is the program leader for that Master's program. This program recruits quite an international cohort of students. It's quite popular from an international community, and it's underpinned with kind of leaders from a research perspective within those fields, specifically within sports policy as well. So our programs, Sports Business Management, Sports Marketing Management, and the MSc Sports Business Management and Policy are all within the business school at Manchester Metropolitan University. This business school is triple accredited from the accreditation bodies on the screen. Currently, this demonstrates a assurance of learning and assurance of quality by these internationally recognised organisations. We're currently going through the re-accreditation for AACSB, which is due to take place in June. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to confirm that accreditation. But for students, this essentially demonstrates that the quality of the degree is of a high standard to have these accreditations. It's quite a unique selling point to have a business school that is triple accredited, and this is a kind of key demonstration of the quality that students can be expecting from our degrees. Why Manchester? A key selling point for our programs, both undergraduate and postgraduate, is the city itself. Okay, this city has been coined the City of Sport due to the various different sport organisations within Manchester themselves. I'm sure prospective students will recognise the images on the far right, Manchester City, Manchester United, but it's not only those two clubs within the region. I'm going to provide some insight into the kind of ecosystem of sport in a moment, but in the centre image we have the velodrome, which is part of the Commonwealth Games, the regeneration of East Manchester around the Etihad campus, and then also the aquatic centre, which is just up the road from us for swimming as well. So this provides a kind of a bird's eye view of the ecosystem and the different sort of different departments, different types of industry within the Manchester area. These vary from national governing bodies to professional clubs, to services and events, sports marketing and technology, and then also retail and apparel as well. So this kind of demonstrates the various different types of sport organisations within the city. To dive deeper into these, as I said, most students will have heard of the top two, I would have thought. A fair few of our students will gain kind of part-time work experience with these clubs, both in a kind of hospitality perspective, but also match day operations, and also within some students actually support with the tours at the stadiums as well, which is a great opportunity for them to kind of get their foot in the door at these organisations. But key thing to stress, it's not only these clubs. So students can look to gain some, if they want to be working in professional football clubs, for example, there's various different organisations in and around the Greater Manchester area where they can look to gain those skills and experiences. So for example, two of our alumni students, one of which is an international student, are currently working at Wigan Athletic. The international student who's graduated from us last year, they are the kind of head of social media for Wigan Athletic, and again just gaining that kind of real world professional experience within these professional clubs. It's not only football though, we are a sport management degree, and there's various different sport organisations including rugby, basketball, and the netball, professional netball team as well. So for students, they may have a final destination of a sport they want to work in. However, sometimes actually what we see is they'll gain experiences in a different sport. Those skills that they develop, those experiences are transferable as well. So they can be used as a platform into their kind of desired final destination. We also have national governing bodies, which again is more focused on kind of participation, governance of sport specifically. The Manchester FA are one of the key stakeholders. The CEO of the Manchester FA is an alumni student, and they actually provide a lot of opportunities with our courses and our students. I'll provide a bit of insight further into what they do in a few slides' time. And also to note the GB Taekwondo, again, recruiting annually for our students, a lot of volunteering opportunities for them in terms of supporting with the international events that occur as well. Moving away from like professional sports clubs and participation, we then have the sports apparel organisations. So Adidas, Puma, Castor, Fanatics, JD, all have their kind of UK head offices in the Greater Manchester area, which again is a great opportunity for our students who want to go down that kind of route in terms of a career pathway as well. To have those close by is a great opportunity for students. We have quite a few alumni students who are at Fanatics, current students who are working for Puma, for example. So it really just demonstrates the growth of the city and the growth of opportunity. Sport events and experience within Manchester specifically, the Manchester City Council essentially oversee most or all events, both non-sport and sport. We have a pretty strong relationship with those, and out of the last 4 years, 3 of our students have actually acquired placement positions with Manchester City Council. And then finally for sports marketing, media and technology, we have BBC Sport within the region as well, alongside other kind of sports marketing agencies that specialise in sport specifically. Additionally to that, the city does have various different marketing agencies as well for students to gain experience too. Here's an outline of the kind of typical entry requirements for our courses, and again the presentation allows for QR codes to go to the course pages. The documents that will be shared, you can access those as well. And for the MSc, the entry requirements there. Key thing to note, there is no prerequisite in terms of the degree type for an undergraduate student who's applying for a master's with our programs. So again, we're accepting applicants from a kind of diverse range of previous academic backgrounds as well. Okay. I'll outline in some detail the kind of modules that students will be studying through our undergraduate to begin with. It's a 3-year program, and anything on the screen that you can see that is bold and underlined relates to course-specific modules. Okay, so within the first year, sport business management students and sport marketing management students will have a bit of overlap in terms of the modules that they'll be completing. Essentially, we want students to get a core understanding. So business management students still need to understand marketing, and marketing students still need to have some understanding on business as well. As they start to progress into the year 2 and year 3, the course specifics, the module specifics will start to diversify into obviously whether it's business management or business marketing specifically. To highlight some of the modules, so sports, business management and marketing management at year 1 is a kind of foundational core module which provides insight into both the program but also the industries themselves. Global sports looks at sport from a globalized perspective. We need our students to have an understanding not only of the UK sporting context but also the global sport industry, which is ever growing, ever changing, and there's more opportunities occurring annually as well. Sport events and operations looks at the operational perspectives of sport specifically through kind of supply chain management, procurement, etc. And sport events is looking at the kind of planning, developing, hosting good sporting events and effective sporting events. For sports marketing management students, they will then complete a module termed Introduction to Digital Marketing and Social Media, again looking at the utilisation of those platforms to market through sport and market of sport, and specifically focusing on skill development and content creation. Each year, students will complete a professional skills module, so you'll see on the screen as developing professional skills, applied professional skills and enhancing professional skills. These are essentially supporting students in their career development to make them as marketable and as competitive in the graduate market, hopefully, as possible. So key skills such as CV development, interview techniques, networking techniques, also how to be as professional as possible in terms of even sending appropriate professional emails, for example, building LinkedIn networks, etc. as well. Into the second year, students will complete a module termed Research and Analysis in Sport. This is looking at the process of collecting data and also analysing big data as well, further developing those analytical skills, utilising Excel as a platform to do this. Sports business management students will then complete Sport Enterprise and Innovation. This is looking at developing essential businesses themselves and also considering some future-proofing and expectations of how the sports industry will change over the next 5 to 10 years. In reality, will change probably in the next 6 months with technology specifically. And then students have the option to pick an optional module. These are sport in the media, sport for development, sport event delivery. Our advice to students is hopefully by this stage they'll have some idea of maybe the career pathway they'd like to get into, and as a result our advice would be select a module that aligns with that career ideas potentially. So if a student wishes to go into events, our advice would be pick the sport event delivery module. For sports marketing, those specific ones, we're looking at brand management for sport marketeers. Again, looking at how to develop a brand effectively, utilising different platforms to promote a brand and do that as effectively as possible. And then both students will be focusing on contemporary issues. Again, need to understand what is good about the sports industry, but also challenges within the sports industry and sports marketing space as well. Into our final year, the students will then complete an independent project. This typically is in the form of a dissertation or a consultancy-based project or an enterprise-based project. This is essentially looking to prove and demonstrate all of the learning outcomes that they've developed throughout their time with us, and that's their kind of last final project they'll complete. Sport business management students will complete leading and managing in sport organisations. So our kind of ethos is we want to promote and develop the future leaders of the sports industry, so gaining kind of core understandings of leadership and management skills within those modules. And then strategy and governance is looking at strategic decision making, but also understanding governance, which underpins everything with sport. For the marketeers, they'll complete digital end-to-end campaign management and then global sports management as well. Again, more marketing aligned specific modules. And then students will complete a optional, one more optional module. These are global sports, mega events and policy, advanced data analytics, and then sports law as well. Okay. For our MSc program, these are all core modules. It's a 1 year full-time module, 1 year full-time program, and these are looking at kind of further developed, more demanding in terms of concepts, expectations from students from assessments perspective, but essentially really trying to demonstrate a stronger, deeper level of understanding within these kind of core modules specifically. To highlight some of these modules, again, students will complete an independent project, and also sport analytics and technology is looking at the futuristic element of sport, integrating elements such as esports, technology, virtual reality, etc. within those modules specifically too. How students will be taught. We have a mixture of lectures and seminars. So a lecture is typically in a large lecture theatre where module leaders will be highlighting kind of key concepts for that weekly content, highlighting key theories, case studies, essentially for students to engage with. We then, from that lecture, have seminars which are an hour and a half and a smaller classroom-based setting where there'll be certain tasks, activities that students need to complete to try and apply that learning taken from the lecture. We're also very focused on independent learning as well. So students will have tasks to complete either before a tutorial or after a tutorial that's related to that weekly topic area. So the key thing there is students can complete the activities in their own time, in their own space when they have time to do so. The assessments are predominantly coursework based. There's an asterisk on year one because students will complete a short partial quiz. This is utilised as a way to kind of check in that students have transitioned into the course okay. These assessment types vary from business reports, podcasts, blogs, presentations, both online and live, business proposals, pitches, etc. Our assessments are considered from two main perspectives. The first is ensuring that students are demonstrating they have achieved the learning outcomes, which is key, but also we want our assessments to be supporting with the development of skills that are going to be beneficial for an employment perspective. Okay, so we'll be really considering within our assessment types, we're requiring students to complete activities that are going to be utilised, useful for their career development as well. So identifying kind of key principles there. Key things with our courses and understanding the sports industry. The sports industry is very competitive and also often is still built from, or opportunities occur through networking, meeting people, face-to-face contact. So we really need to ensure that students are gaining as much touch points, much access to the sports industry as possible outside of the classroom, alongside the classroom as well. So various different things we do to provide these opportunities, such as student and employer networking events, site visits, guest lectures, extracurricular opportunities, mock assessment days, etc. The image on the left-hand side, I previously mentioned the CEO of Manchester FA. So they do an annual guest lecture and alongside providing other opportunities. So an incredible stakeholder, almost the leader of football within the Manchester area, comes in and provides insight into the practicalities and the realities of the sport industry alongside other opportunities. The image in the centre, we recently had a site visit to DAZN, the global streaming company. Our students had the opportunity to see behind the scenes of how that industry works. Some of the technology that they're utilising was very impressive to see behind the scenes. And also those students that were present on the trip post-session were included on the talent pool for DAZN, with them looking to try and recruit some of those students post-completion of degree as well. And the image on the right-hand side is the first-year students' trip to Manchester United, which occurred recently. Within that, students completed some activities and got a certification through Manchester United as well. Further opportunities, we have COIL, which stands for Collaborative Online International Learning. And what we do there with an international perspective and international lens is provide students with a client brief that's set by a professional organisation, but students then work with some of our international partners. So they worked with the University of Cairo students, utilising technology, teams, etc. to essentially answer that brief with international students, working collaboratively, and then they presented that back to the employer. We also then have work integrated learning, which we term WIL. This provides, is considering the assessment even further, whereby the employers are actually part of the development process of the assessment. And students have to work with that partner, that employer and that stakeholder to complete their assessment specifically. So the example this year that we're utilising is students had to bid for the rights to host an event for some of our employer partners. The employers then selected based off the quality of the bid, and then the students with that rights had to actually plan and implement that event for that stakeholder, working with them collaboratively as well. Students on the undergraduate courses have the opportunity to complete placements or a study abroad year as well. Students can apply for this placement position once they join us. We support them with the career development, particularly those professional skills modules, but provide them with various different avenues of support as well. The student must secure the placement themselves, but we help them with that process. We have a dedicated LinkedIn page that all of our students are joined into, and all of our colleagues share various opportunities through our networks and our shareholders as well. The placement typically is 12 months, but it can be about 9 months of full-time employment hours. This is really beneficial for kind of career development as well. We also have a kind of dedicated placement team that support with those processes. The image is there is of our final year student who's about to complete their degree, but they had the placement with Puma last year, and as a result will be rejoining them most likely post completion of their degree as well. Won't touch on this too much, but graduate outcomes is probably one of the most biggest questions we get now from students who are making their informed decisions. Not only what degree am I going to get, but what potentially is my outcome post completion. It's becoming a lot more strategic in that decision making process, both for international students and home students as well. So as you'll see, the top two numbers there demonstrate our undergraduate courses. Students were either in full-time employment or in full-time education or further study 15 months after graduation. Challenges in the graduate market, the competitiveness in the graduate market, we're quite proud of these numbers, but again, it's an ongoing process, it's an ongoing challenge that we are always tackling head on with the support we provide our students. Highlighting this again just sort of shows a bird's eye view of the typical job and employment graduate outcomes and career destinations from our graduates. This is taken from collating data from the last 3 to 4 years, I would say. Students typically go into marketing, partnerships, sales and accounts, events, operations, retail merchandise, further research or sport development. To highlight kind of the diverse range you see there from the examples, not only a diverse range of employers, but also a kind of diverse range of job types, job titles as well, ranging from professional clubs, apparel companies, looking at kind of either social media development, partnerships, marketing executives, operation elements, participation elements as well. So quite a diverse range of career destinations that our students pursue and gain experiences with. What's amazing for us to see is year on year our alumni numbers grow. These students then gain these kind of opportunities and they really look to give back to our current students. That's where a lot of our opportunities come for our current cohort, is from these individuals that are within current employment that have been through our programs. And then finally from me, some student testimonials of either current or previous Korean students. Within the document that we'll share, we have a full list of full testimonials. These are just a snippet of some of the key points. The student on the left-hand side, they were working with Adidas post-completion in Stockport and are now moved to London to pursue further career opportunities. Their transition was amazing to see. I can remember the student on their first day, and you can imagine a big transition for students moving to a different country, different culture, but he really got through that transition, took a lot of opportunities, a lot of extracurricular opportunities, and has been quite successful post-completion. The student in the middle is completing their Masters with us currently, and you can see there they're really enjoying the kind of extracurricular employment opportunities that have been provided. And the student on the far side, what I really like with theirs is firstly the kind of inspiration of Manchester as this sporting city, but also the inclusive nature of the city itself for an international student, plus the support with the Korean member society as well to support with that transition in. Thank you for the time and for the opportunity for the presentation today. Again, contact details for key program leaders. More than happy for any prospective students, if they've got course specific questions, to get in touch. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.